On Thursday, a precious 18-year-old college student named Sheridan Gorman was shot and killed. The illegal alien monster charged with Sheridan's brutal murder had come illegally from Venezuela.
So the kids were out doing normal things people do in the neighborhood. And it sounds like this might have been a wrong place, wrong time, running into a person who had a gun. They might have startled this person.
America, a Chicago elder woman just told a grieving family on camera that their daughter may have startled a man who shot her in the back. Not the man shouldn't have been in the country, not that ICE filed detainers on him twice and Chicago said no.
It's devastating. These people were let in by Biden. We're getting them out. We're getting them out fast. That's why ICE is so important. They're doing such a good job.
The same politicians who let Jose Medina walk free twice are the loudest voices right now demanding ICE stay away from airports, ICE stay away from polling sites, and anywhere else they might actually do their job.
We are tired, America. We need help. She's not the first woman to be killed by an illegal in this city, in this country, and we're asking everybody to now get out the way and let them do their work.
The same people who failed Sheridan Gorman are now screaming ICE out now.
An illegal immigrant has been charged with murdering a college student in Chicago last week. Do House Democrats believe if he's convicted, he's someone who should be deported?
I'll look into the case.
Going to continue to pray for those victims.
Will you take this opportunity to apologize to Sheridan's parents for the policies that you promoted that would directly caused her death? That suspect would not be in the city, would not be in the country, but for your policies. Will you take this opportunity to apologize?
Well, again, I believe that we're all grieving the loss of Sheridan and other folks who have lost their lives because of senseless violence. And let's just be very clear, between the Safety Act and the Welcoming City Ordinance. The Welcoming City Ordinance was passed 40 years ago by the first Black mayor in the history of Chicago. And the Safety Act was passed under the governor, at that time, who was a Republican, Governor Rauner. Thank you for your questions.
So you will not apologize to Sheridan's parents?
Hi, Mayor.
No apologies. You have nothing to say to that.
What is up, guys? Tyson DeLaCruz here. Thank you so much for rocking with me. A memorial at the beach where this individual died, and an elder woman is saying that she startled him. Let me show you the full picture here on how this happened and who is actually responsible. Before I get into the political failures, let me make sure everybody watches this has the full picture of who Sheridan Gorman was, because the elder woman tried to make this about geography. It's not about geography. Sheridan Gorman was an 18-year-old, a freshman at La Jolla University in Chicago from Westchester County, New York, months away from finishing her first year of college. On Friday night, she went to Rogers Park Beach with her friends to try to catch a glimpse at the Northern Lights, probably one of the most beautiful things that I've personally ever seen. A masked man was waiting on the pier. He opened up fire. Sheridan was shot in the back. She died at the scene. Her family said it perfectly. They said what happened to Sheridan was not wrong place, wrong time. It was a violent and preventable act. Remember that.
We now know Medina, seen in this photo from the Department of Homeland Security, was charged with first-degree murder, aggravated assault, and aggravated unlawful possession of a weapon. Homeland Security says he was arrested by Chicago police in 2023 for shoplifting. We found court documents that say Medina stole a few $100s worth of merchandise from the Macy's on State Street. Medina was released on bond, did not show up for court, and a warrant was issued for his arrest, which is still outstanding.
Outstanding warrant. He had an outstanding warrant in Chicago the entire time that he was walking around Rogers Park. Let me walk you through the full timeline here because this is important. Jose Medina, 25 years old, Venezuelan national, was caught by U.S. Border Patrol in 2023 and released back into the United States under Biden's catch and release policies. This is documented by DHS. Then he ends up in Chicago, of all places, gets arrested for shoplifting at Macy's on State Street, post bond, doesn't show up for court, warrants issued for his arrest. ICE filed a detainer on him. Chicago They ignored it. 2 releases, 2 chances for the system to remove this El Hombre, both ignored. And Sheridan was at the beach because she wanted to see the Northern Lights, one of the amazing wonders of the world. This 18-year-old wanted to see something absolutely beautiful, something amazing in the sky on Friday night. That's what she was doing when a man with an active warrant and 2 ICE detainers shot her in the back, dead. And Chicago's alderwoman said she might have startled him. What in the flying? Let me show you the exact moment the DHS made it clear who's responsible, because they put it in writing publicly on their official account.
The Department of Homeland Security now asking the state to hold Jose Medina on an ICE immigration detainer. It's a fresh new friction point between the feds and states with sanctuary policies. President Trump and DHS zeroing in on Illinois yet again for policies that forbid collaboration between the state and federal government on immigration matters after 25-year-old Jose Medina, accused of being an undocumented immigrant from Venezuela, was charged with killing 18-year-old college freshman Sheridan Gorman last Thursday in Rogers Park.
Let me underline this for you guys. Should never been released. That is the official position of the United States Department of Homeland Security. The DHS didn't hedge. They didn't say, oh, in retrospect, further review might have been warranted. They said should not have been released twice. And I want to show you what they published about this, because Pritzker, JB Big Bot Pritzker, and Brandon Mohawk Johnson need to own every word of it. From the DHS official account, and I'm reading this directly, you guys. We have lodged an arrest detainer requesting sanctuary politicians not release Jose Medina-Medina. Jose Medina-Medina. They capitalized, not. They tagged the sanctuary politicians, and then they connected it to Sheridan's family, saying, quote, Sheridan Gorman was murdered by an illegal alien who should have never been in our country. The police used facial recognition to identify Medina-Medina, cross-referencing the Customs and Border Protection records, meaning CPB had his information. ICE had his information. Chicago, Chi-Town, Chirac had his information, and nobody acted.
This reaction from the alderwoman is abhorrent. The fact that you would dismiss this as wrong place, wrong time. There should never be a place where it's okay for people to walk around with guns and shoot people anywhere, much less on the lakefront in Chicago. I mean, this is an area that is beautiful. This is the area that J.B. Pritzker was walking down the walkway telling Marianne Ahern from the news that this is a safe place and Chicago's a wonderful community. Back when we had reasonable policies in this country, you would get arrested, and if you had an issue where you were not a citizen, there would be a detainer placed on you, and then ICE would be able to come into the jails and remove you. That is no longer happening.
A criminal defense attorney whose job is defending people is saying the detainer system is completely broken and it's making everybody unsafe. She knows those courthouses. She's in them. She's telling you ICE agents are being locked out of jails by sanctuary city policies. The detainers get filed. The judge says, no, I don't want the illegal immigrant. I don't want the illegal. No, I don't want him in jail. That's what they say. The person walks, and somewhere around Chicago, anywhere, an 18-year-old girl is on the beach looking in the sky, and behind her is lurking an illegal hombre.
Chicago police detectives using facial recognition software to identify Medina, comparing his images to U.S. Customs and Border Protection records, according to a police report. Medina was at large after skipping a court appearance for shoplifting in 2023.
They caught him by comparing his face to Border Patrol database that already had him in the database. The database existed the whole time that El Hombre Medina-Medina was walking around Chicago with a warrant out on his arrest. The database existed the whole time while Jose Medina was walking around Chicago with a warrant out for his arrest.
I agree. There have been real failures. Those failures, of course, extend beyond the borders of Illinois. That's their national failures, a failure to have comprehensive immigration reform, a failure of the president to follow his own edict to go after the worst of the worst.
I need to show you something that was posted on social this week that tells you everything about the disconnect between Illinois leadership and the reality and the absolute reality on the ground. Governor J.B. Pritzker, JB Big Bop Pritzker, the man who has defended sanctuary policies and refused to cooperate with ICE, was videotaping walking around the exact lakefront area where Sheridan Gorman was shot.
Lakefront path, lakefront trail, absolutely gorgeous. Walking around here early morning on the South Lakefront Trail, south side. Just gorgeous. Look at that overpass over Lakeshore Drive. Really beautiful. And of course, facilities for everybody and a great lakefront.
Governor J.B. Big Bop Pritzker posted a video lakeside bragging about how safe it is. And while J.B. Big Bop Pritzker is doing this lakefront wellness walk to get his steps in, at the same time, let me show you what happened at airports where ICE is actually trying to do their job.
Master Donald Trump, go back to your master. Putin, exactly. And Netanyahu, if he's still alive, go back to your master.
This is what ICE out looks like in practice. And this is the political coalition that failed Sheridan Gorman. A girl screaming at federal law enforcement officers at an airport terminal. Get back to your master. Get back to your master is what she says, because ICE is the problem. ICE is the problem, you guys, because the man with outstanding warrants who entered the country illegally, who shot an 18-year-old on the beach is not the problem. Don't worry, guys, it gets better. Let me show you what Hakeem Jeffries, Dollar Store Obama, Timu Barak is demanding in exchange for funding DHS, the agency that filed the detainer on Medina-Medina that Chicago ignored.
It's the reason why we are in a DHS shutdown right now, because Republicans have refused to agree to the type of bold, transformative, meaningful, and dramatic reforms we are demanding in order for the Department of Homeland Security funding bill to move forward. And I won't go through all of the demands, much of which we've talked about repeatedly in the public, but one of those demands is keep ICE out of sensitive locations. And we've defined that as schools, houses of worship, hospitals, and polling sites. We want an explicit prohibition that ICE can go nowhere near any polling sites in the United States of America. It's one of our...
Let me translate that for everybody, okay? Democrats are holding DHS hostage. They're holding the funding hostage. The same DHS that filed detainers on Jose Medina twice because they want legal guarantee. The Dems want a legal guarantee that ICE cannot operate near election infrastructure. The detainer system that failed Sheridan Gorman, okay? They want to make it more restrictive, not less. They want to make it more restrictive, not less. And they are using these TSA workers and their checks as leverage to do it. I want to spend a moment on the Gorman family statement because they're not political people. They're a family from New York who sent their daughter to a college in Chicago. And what they wrote after her death is something every single sanctuary city politician in America should be forced to read out loud.
We are gravely disappointed by the policies and failures that allowed this individual to remain in a position to commit this crime. When systems fail, whether through release decisions, lack of coordination, or unwillingness to act, the consequences are not abstract. They are real, and in our case, they are permanent.
The consequences are not abstract. They are real. And in our case, they are permanent. That family will never have their daughter back again. Through release decisions, lack of coordination, or unwillingness to act, they nailed it and named it. They didn't say it was tragic. They said it was a policy failure. The family who just lost their daughter had the clarity to say what every single politician in Illinois refused to say.
What Sheridan was doing that night, walking with friends near her campus, was normal. It was safe. It is what students do every day. We will not allow this to be dismissed as wrong place, wrong time. This was not random misfortune. This was a violent and preventable act.
We will not allow this to be dismissed. The family issued a direct response to the aldermen who tried to minimize their daughter's death, and they're absolutely right about this. The panel on that show, every single person gasped when they played the alderman's original clip. Not just conservatives here. The former Chicagoans, the people who know the city, because they know what that lakefront means. They know what the sanctuary policies have done.
This defendant now has been charged or been arrested and will be charged with murder. So really, that's where the action is going to be here.
ABC 7 chief legal analyst Gil Sofer says this creates yet another flashpoint between federal immigration goals and the state's welcoming policy towards migrants.
It wouldn't make sense for the feds to insist on a handover from the state for deportation purposes now. If he committed murder, there's a very strong interest on the part of the state, and you would think on the part of the feds, to see that he's prosecuted here.
He's staying in jail, not because Chicago cooperates with ICE, because he's charged with murder. The detainer is still being ignored. The policies obviously haven't changed here. And the students at the university, they're processing this all in real time.
Toby Prince Beach Park is a popular area for Loyola University students and people who live in the Rogers Park neighborhood. You can see how many people are out here on this Saturday, and the masked gunman reportedly jumped from the brush, shooting and killing 18-year-old Sheridan Gorman right here. A memorial now in place.
College students are now saying they won't go out at night without pepper spray because of the policy failures that killed their classmate. That's what a quote-unquote welcoming city and welcoming city policies produce on the ground. And now, you guys, a moment that made my absolute day with the ICE out screaming situation. All the airport chaos, the Democrats demanding ICE stay away from sensitive locations. Let me show you quickly what CNN was reporting from Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport in Atlanta.
Finally, we can take a deep breath here. The numbers have dropped off. The lines are getting shorter. I think the average wait time now is under 40 minutes. So if you have a flight to catch today, it's a good time to come to Hartsfield-Jackson International.
Did anybody in the chat predict CNN would be confirming how efficient ICE is at an airport? Because, my friends, that absolutely nailed it. ICE showed up, lines got shorter, and CNN unfortunately had to report it. The banner across the lower third, the bottom of that, CNN broadcast reads, ICE agents seen among long lines at several U.S. airports. Obviously, CNN came in hot trying to do a crisis story, and the correspondent is standing there telling you that the wait is under 40 minutes. And it's a good time to fly because ICE made it work. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. ICE made it work. The same agency Democrats are blocking from polling sites, the same agency that filed detainers against Jose Medina-Medina, the same agency that Hakeem Dollar Store Jeffries is defunding to protect illegal hombres at airports is now the reason your airport lines are moving. America, here's what the Gorman family said that nobody in Chicago is willing to repeat. When systems fail through release decisions, through lack of coordination, through unwillingness to act, the consequences are absolutely permanent. The detainer system didn't fail because it was poorly designed. It failed because elected officials chose to ignore it. J.B. Big Bop Pritzker, Brandon Mohawk Johnson, the alderwoman who told Sheridan's parents she might have startled an illegal hombre. They didn't fail accidentally. They built policies designed to produce this exact result. And these people pretend to be surprised when it did. Here's what's coming that nobody connects. Hakeem Jeffries wants ICE banned from polling sites as one of the conditions of funding DHS. Think about what that means. The agency that filed those detainers on Jose Medina, that would have removed him Friday night, that is currently the only reason airport lines are moving. And he wants the agency legally prohibited from operating near election infrastructure. So the political coalition that depends on sanctuary policies can continue winning elections through pandering and illegal hombres while families like the Gormans are burying their daughter. Sheridan Gorman went to a beach to see the Northern Lights. An elder woman called it wrong place, wrong time. Pritzker called the lakefront gorgeous. The receipts don't lie, but politicians do. Let me know what you think about this. Drop it down in the comment section down below. Smash the like button if you kindly would. Share, subscribe, and as always, guys, I'll catch you on the next one.